The 2026 MLB season has people losing their minds. Let's go.
Lost his shit on an umpire this weekend. Chris Sale, he lost his on an umpire as well. Then Aaron Boone loses his cool on the same umpire. Dan Wilson loses his shit twice in 2 games. Fans and opponents are losing their shit on this.
What happened? I can't remember. So Chris Sale losing his mind on the umpire was, I think he got tossed like super early. I can't remember.
Guy. Jeffrey Yan keeps jumping and slapping the
Oh,
ground
hell
every
yeah.
single time he throws a baseball. Some people.
Chad, what are your thoughts on this? I think this is hilarious. I don't really mind it. I've seen a lot of things on Twitter about this guy saying that it's childish. He's in the major leagues now. Like, his team is terrible. He shouldn't be doing this. Honestly, Jan, wearing number 84. Keep doing it, bro. And I've seen his jumps have gotten a little bit shorter every single time to the point where he's barely leaving the ground. But just do you, bro. You got here doing this. You got to keep doing it in the MLB.
We're not happy about that. So they're already mocking him. He's getting booed already. This guy first came on our radar 3 years ago when he went viral for doing jumps and somersaults and freaking slams, 720 spins and Dominican Winter League games. Was out of
I'd be a little scared that he's gonna hurt himself here.
Professional baseball for 6 years after being released from the Angels. Was pitching in a men's league game in Arizona. Got discovered by the Marlins. Got re-signed. Now he's throwing 100 miles per hour and he's doing 720s after strikeouts. And double.
Chad, do you think he was discovered because of his strikeout antics, or do you think he was discovered more because of his just stats, or do you think it was a mixture of both?
He had a 4.89 ERA, right? Pitched in Japan, had a 5.58 ERA. Pitched in AAA, had a 4.89 ERA. Then got shelled all year last year in AAA for the Rockies. 7.28 ERA in AAA last year for the Rockies. So he's not lighting the league on fire, right? But he gets called up because the Mets, they traded so many players at the deadline. They need a guy who's going to add some life into that
fill
bullpen.
some seats and add some life.
After getting signed, he finally makes it to the major leagues. First batter he faces strikes him.
Dude, this guy is hilarious. What?
Getting signed.
What is
finally makes it to the major leagues. First batter he faces.
Dude, this is hilarious. You can't even deny it at this point, bro. This is actually hilarious. I wish he was on my team.
Strikes him
I
out,
wish he was on the
8
Cubs.
feet in the air, air smacks the ground, and gets booed for it. Gives up a hit. Guardians dugout immediately starts mocking him. Gives up another hit, then walks a guy. So he's got the
Don't
bases
mock him,
loaded.
bro.
Jeffrey's in big trouble here. Strikes out another guy, jump celebration before the batter's even called out. Gets booed again, then gets a ground ball. Tries to catch it himself.
What is this? Nah, just kidding, bro. I don't even know how to feel about this. This is a little embarrassing. Just not for this guy. I think this is just like his thing. But for the Mets to be this bad, and then if I was a Mets fan watching my team spend billions of dollars on players to miss the postseason, and then we have this guy doing this when you're 64 and 87 or whatever they are, bro, I would be a little mad. But watching this right now, this makes me happy.
Can't catch it. Gets out of the inning, gets booed as he leaves the field. Later in the game, Guardians take the lead, and Jose Ramirez is seen in the dugout mocking Jan's jumping. So first game, he's already getting mocked. He throws a scoreless inning.
See, I don't know if it's mock. Do you think they're mocking him, or do you think they just think it's funny? I'm gonna go on the road where I think they might just think it's funny and they're just copying it. Maybe they want to be like him.
2 strikeouts and 2 massive celebrations. Speaking of bad teams, the Mariners are not a good team, man. Earlier this season, they were playing the Tigers. Josh Naylor runs into the first baseman.
Jesus.
Throws a slotty mitt, then gets nailed.
You're a game. You're literally like an inning away from going to the World Series, and then you just don't do anything. It makes no sense. Also, their pitching fell off a cliff, but at the same time, bro, they didn't do anything to help themselves in the offseason. It just doesn't make any sense, man.
With the fastball. So they had a beef earlier in the year. Now they're facing the Tigers again. Brian Wu nails Max Clark with the pitch, but barely. Then hits Riley Green and Zach McKinstry with pitches.
I'm not gonna lie, it looked like he reached his elbow out. Let's watch that again. It looked a little bit like he reached his elbow out, but I'll give it to him.
Max Clark with the pitch, but barely. Then hits Riley Green and Zach McKinstry with pitches, also barely. However, in the bottom of the 7th, the Tigers respond and they nail Cal Raleigh in the stomach. And the Mariners seem to think that.
Yeah, what's going on with Cal Raleigh this year too? I don't want to like drag this video on. Cal Raleigh has been terrible this year, and it really doesn't make any sense. I talked about it earlier. How do you go from having the greatest catcher season of all time to having a terrible catcher season? One of the worst catcher seasons of all time. Chad, what do you think it is? Roids? Nah, it's not roids, bro. Just it's a little confusing. That's what I don't get. That's what I don't understand, bro. Once you have that season, a lot of people said his batting stance has changed a little bit, like his elbow or something. Why would you change anything after having a season that good? There's no reason to change anything. That was the greatest season of all time by a catcher.
Was on purpose in retaliation. So later in the game, they bring in a guy with a bear tattoo on his bicep.
How are we gonna get any
He
better?
throws an inside pitch to Gleyber Torres. Torres gets out of the way, then follows it up with another one and nails him. So the bench is clear because it seems like Spire did this on purpose. He ends up getting ejected and suspended 3 games for throwing this pitch. Dan Wilson, the manager, also gets ejected and suspended because he's the manager and he's the one who ordered it, theoretically. So the league suspends him and ejects him as well. So the Mariners lose 2 out of 3 to the Tigers. Then they play the Rays, and even more controversy with the Rays. So on Saturday, a pitch was called a strike. Julio Rodriguez wants a challenge. He taps his helmet, does it immediately, and the umpire doesn't let him
This is the thing about the whole ABS system that doesn't make any sense to me. How there's a pitch timer, there's a hitting timer of the guy, the time that the hitter has to get in the box. There's a time that the pitcher has to get into the box. There's a time that a coach has to call a challenge. Why is there no ABS clock? Why is it just only the umpire? Why not add an ABS clock on the field or something after each pitch? 3, 2, 1, or however long it is. I don't know. Why not add that? It makes no sense. Why would that not be a thing? Because then it adds all to this BS. He probably, I think,
wants a challenge with the Rays. So on Saturday, a pitch
like it was a strike anyway. He would have got it wrong, but it makes no sense. It makes no sense regardless. It really doesn't.
was called a strike. Julio Rodriguez wants a challenge. He taps his helmet, does it immediately, and the umpire doesn't let him challenge. According to the rules, challenges must be made immediately after the umpire's call without assistance from the dugout or other players.
So immediately, so there can't be a clock. But still, there should be like a 1-second timer or something, bro. Like that was literally immediately after the call.
Doesn't let Julio Rodriguez challenges, even though he does it immediately. Dan Wilson loses his shit on the umpire again. His bench coach tries to break it up.
That's deserved, bro. That is actually deserved. Does he get tossed here?
They both end up losing their shit. Dan Wilson gets ejected again, 2nd game in a row. So this guy managed 311 games.
How often
He
does
got
that
ejected
happen?
1 time going into this week. Then gets ejected 2 times in 2 games. Ejected in back-to-back games as the Mariners lose 2 out of 3 of the Tigers.
He'll probably end up getting fired at this point.
And gets swept by the Rays. They're 9-19 since July 7th, 2nd worst record in
9-19, yeah, GG's, bro. That manager is cooked.
28th in OPS, 26th in on-base percentage, 29th in average, and 30th in runs. This is the worst offense in baseball. Cal Raleigh hit 60 home runs last year, was 2nd in MVP voting. This year he's batting 161 with the 65 OPS plus.
Dude, how is that possible? How is that even possible? It's so depressing. I feel so bad for him.
The worst offensive catcher in baseball by WRC Plus with minimum 350 plate appearances. Biggest season-to-season decrease in baseball in average on-base percentage and slugging. So the downfall is insane for Cal Raleigh. Like, this is almost unprecedented. And the Mariners in general, they were 1 win away from a World Series appearance last year. As of today, they are 7 games below 500 in 3rd place in the worst division in baseball, and their playoff odds have dropped to 31.5%. Zach Wheeler was in the news this week. He caused the Blue Jays to freak out on him. Basically, he's using this pitching rubber trick. So he does this thing in the windup where he steps back and pitches without his foot on the rubber. Now, the rules say, quote, a pitch.
Okay, so this is one thing I got a question about. Why would you not want to pitch on the rubber? I'm assuming he's gonna tell me, but don't you have like a little bit of push off or something? Maybe there's like a big hole in the rubber. He doesn't want to pitch on it. The mound probably sucks. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it like adds an illusion for the hitter. I don't know.
Pitch delivered to the batter when the pitcher does not have his pivot foot in contact with the pitcher's plate is illegal. Problem is that's physically impossible because if you're pushing off the rubber, by the time you release it, every single pitcher's foot is going to be off the rubber by a couple inches just because their momentum. Of course, we had the famous example of Carter Capps, who got away with this for a while. This guy would jump at batters. He'd throw like 3 feet in front of the plate. And that was actually deemed legal for a while until they banned it. Victor Robles was also seen pitching a foot behind the rubber this week. Either way, the Blue Jays flagged this. They approached MLB. They sent a video to.
Dude, imagine pitching. But though I didn't even talk about it but that Carter Capps thing. Imagine pitching a certain way. Maybe he pitched that way his whole life. I don't know. But imagine pitching that way, and then the MLB bans it, and then you have to change your entire like motion or whatever. I can't think of the word. and then you're just cooked. You just can't, there's no way you could do that and still be good because you've been doing it for so long. You're doing it at a professional level. Then you have to they ban it. They ban you from using it. You got to go back and then change everything over again and then make it back to the MLB. It's GG's, bro. Like that's messed up.
MLB showing them what Wheeler's doing. John Snyder, the Blue Jays manager, talked to the umpire before the game, warning him, saying, hey, Wheeler's not pitching on the rubber. We got video evidence. Look for this shit, right? Now, we got video of this that makes it look like, yeah, he's clearly not on the rubber. However, the umpire responds and says, we're looking for it, brother. No one else can see it. If you look at this other angle, there's no way you're going to be able to tell if you're the home plate umpire. The Blue Jays pitching coach starts screaming at the umpire to call it on Wheeler. Zach Wheeler tells the pitching coach of the Blue Jays to, quote, f off. And he starts screaming back, no, you f off. Zach Wheeler says, quote, I'm going to keep doing what I do. I've been pitching over there forever, and I'm going to keep doing it. The Blue Jays have lost a lot of games over there, so they're probably trying to pick up on some things to complain about.
I mean, the Blue Jays made the World Series last year, and they're the worst team in their division. Talk about a fall off, first of all. And second of all, what did they expect?
Unfortunately, Wheeler does end up giving up 4 runs and losing to the Blue Jays, who, according to him, lose a lot of games. It's going to be tough.
Once again, a team that goes really far, that does nothing in the offseason but get worse.
Catch the Atlanta Braves right now, who have extended their lead to 8.5 games up against the Phillies. They swept the Marlins, extended their win streak to 8 games for the Braves. Acuna's back off the IL. He hit a bomb. Has one deep to the left. Does it have room?
This
Probably
dude,
not going to get out there. Boom.
This dude has infinite aura, dude. I'm telling you, everybody in the league, just look at this, bro. Yellow gear. Don't even have yellow in their jersey, bro. They got yellow in the, I think the only yellow they have in this jersey, like their yellow is in the tomahawk rope. Of course I got the Acuna jersey on, bro, first of all. But and they have the yellow in their brand sponsorship logo on the shoulder. This looks dope, and this dude always just goes crazy when he comes back.
He hit a ball.
If he can only stay healthy,
deep to the left. Does it have room? Probably not going to get out there. Boom. Thank you.
I mean, talk about embarrassing, bro. Talk about a little embarrassing.
Unfortunately, Chris Sale was also back. He got ejected before a game even started on Sunday, which has to do with his start on Saturday. Go-ahead run is on third base. Chris Sale, he's going against Austin Wells. Umpire calls a balk, a run scores. That is the go-ahead run. If you look at the previous at-bat, Chris Sale does this exact same movement, and it is not called. But in the first pitch of this at-bat, it is called a balk. Chris Sale gets pissed. Walt Weiss comes.
This is the most annoying thing about umpires is when they're not consistent. You can be a bad umpire. You can call a strike a ball. You can call a ball a strike. If you do that consistently for the entire game, it's okay. People can brush it off. But if you're going to be an umpire that not only gets calls wrong, but do it inconsistently, that is the worst case scenario for any hitter and any pitcher because you never know what's going to be called a strike. And in this case, you never know what's going to be called a balk or an illegal move or whatever.
Gets even more pissed. According to the umpire, Chris Sale comes set, then moves again, which is a balk, but it's only a balk if you're coming out of the stretch. This is why pitchers with a runner on third have to declare to the umpire if they're going to pitch out of the stretch or they're going to pitch out of the windup. According to the umpire, the batter before, Chris Sale did declare, saying, I'm going to be pitching out of the windup. But after retiring that batter, a new batter came up, and Chris Sale did not declare again, saying he was going to come out of the windup. So even though he does the exact same...
Actually, that's fair, bro. I take back everything I just said. I feel like every time I get in these rants and I talk about one certain thing and I get mad about an umpire or something, and then this guy turns it around on me, and then I just get fucked. That's just what happens in a lot of these videos, bro. And it's kind of get into
motion every single time. This time, it is a balk. That gives the runner on third a free pass to score, and Chris Sale was not happy about it. According to him, he never done that in his career, because once you declare once, the umpire can put 2 and 2 together and say, if he just...
So now I take it back. I don't know, bro. I don't even know how to feel. I don't know how to feel, man.
Pitch out of the windup with a runner on third
it's rough out here.
10 seconds ago. He's probably going to be doing it again. This umpire is being a you-know-what. No, wrong one. Stickler. Then later in the game, Jose Caballero.
Oh God, this guy again, bro. Is this guy gonna sit here and abuse his batting time power, bro? Like, I'm sick of this shit already. I saw one video about it, and I'm already done.
It's called for another pitch clock violation. He does his patented move, stare at the ground until 8 seconds, look up at the last second, and then hit, which has now been nerfed and banned. They call a pitch clock violation on him in this game because I guess he wasn't in the box at the right time. You could tell throughout the entire bat, he's very pissed off they called this violation on him. Ends up getting walked, throws his bat, throws his arm guard, takes so much time getting the first base.
Here,
umpire
bro.
says,
oh,
bitch, I'm calling that a pitch clock violation. He calls another violation on Caballero. Aaron Boone now loses his shit.
Honestly good,
umpire
bro.
tells Boone there's nothing he can do.
He started it.
According to the umpire, Caballero stared the umpire down. And Aaron Boone was not happy. Yankees end up winning this game by 1
Shout out
run,
Aaron Boone.
meaning that ball.
There's not a lot of coaches that would go onto a Yankees podcast, like especially a Yankees coach going on a Yankees podcast like weekly or however often he does it. That takes some balls, bro. I'm not gonna lie. There are no coaches. I don't think any coach has done that. If there are, let me know in the comments. But I can't hate on him because he does that and he takes action. Like they say some shit that's just the dumbest things I've ever heard, like telling him to start certain people and asking him why, and he's just like, no, I'm not doing that. Because why would he? Why would he listen to two podcasters? But I can't hate on Boone, bro. I'm sorry.
Call basically cost the Braves a run and cost them the game. The next day, the umpires come onto the field. They're on the field for 10 seconds, and they eject Chris Sale. Chris Sale is basically waiting for him, camping in the dugout, sees him, and gets ejected in the first 10 seconds of the game. Speaking of the Cubs, they beat the Dodgers in the...
Speaking of the Cubs...
Ejected in the first 10 seconds of the game. Speaking of the Cubs, they beat the Dodgers in the first 2 games of the series.
That might have been... I don't know what this is, bro. Speaking of the Cubs, I don't think you ever mentioned the Cubs one time.
He's right. So then in game 3, Shohei Ohtani says enough is enough. First batter of the game.
Chad, this might be the greatest game of all time. This had like 30 hits, PCA and Shohei MVP battle, one after another, 2 home runs each. I'm just gonna let you get to the video, bro. This is insane to watch.
Drills this ball deep right field. Suzuki watches it fly.
Hits a bomb. In the bottom of the first, Pico Armstrong comes up. First batter of the game for the Cubs.
That is hammered center field. That's back on its way.
What you can do, I can do better. Is that what they say?
That's the 26th home run for the season. Pico Armstrong actually passes Shohei Ohtani in home runs. In the second inning, Pico Armstrong comes up again, rips an RBI double. Comes up in the fourth, PCA.
High fly ball, right field. That's
An absolute bomb.
Boom,
Holy.
Another home run. Ohtani's sitting there thinking, damn. Comes up in the 5th, hits a single. Then in the 8th, the real damage is done. Shohei Ohtani
pokes it to left field.
This is an insanely impressive home run here. Outside backdoor sinker or slider. He just sticks his wrist out and just bloop right over. That's right over the fence.
On the track, he turns. It's gone.
hits another home run. So these
Look at that.
two
Just
in one
flips
game
his-
combined for
flips
6
his
hits,
wrist out
4
there.
runs, 19 total bases, and 7 RBIs between 2 players. But this really starts the conversation of, is Pico Armstrong surpassing Shohei Ohtani in the MVP race? The PCA, if you go by WAR, has surpassed Shohei by an entire wins above replacement. He has more hits than Ohtani, same amount of home runs as Ohtani, the same amount of RBIs as Ohtani, more steals than Ohtani. Ohtani does lead in average on-base percentage. They got about the same slugging, and Ohtani leads in OPS. Ohtani,
Not
same
anymore. Not anymore.
offensive numbers, basically, as PCA. However, he's also pitched in 14 games, 85 and 2
Actually, he might actually lead him now because he did hit a home run today. I don't know.
pitch, has a 1.79 ERA, 2.9 WAR on the mound on top of that. Now, PCA has the same offensive numbers as Ohtani, but he's the best defensive player in the league, according to every metric on earth. So the question basically is what do you value more, defense or pitching? So the Cubs end up winning that game. So the Cubs sweep the Dodgers. Dodgers lost 7 games in a row. Edwin Diaz comes off the IL this week. Since returning, he's given up a run in 4 of his 5 outings.
Honestly, the thing about the Dodgers is when you buy every single player who's good, you're going to get players who are going to regress. So Diaz has always been, I feel like Diaz has always been either really good or really bad. And I bet he just turns into an absolute beast in the playoffs. That's my
He
guess.
came to end the losing streak for the Dodgers. They're going against the Diamondbacks. Ninth hitter in the lineup, Ryan Waldschmidt. Diamondbacks are down to their last 2 outs. Bing hits a walk-off 2-run home run. Diaz blows 2 leads in 3 outings this week. Dodgers get swept in back-to-back series, lose 2 out of 3 to the Diamondbacks. They've fallen behind the Braves and Brewers in terms of record, so it's kind of season ends.
And this thing's gonna this is what's gonna piss me off here. Is the Dodgers are in a terrible stretch. I don't know what their last 10 games are. They're in a terrible stretch. That's all I know. Dodgers fans are genuinely acting like they're gonna miss the playoffs. Like this team. Oh my god! Like I saw a tweet today that says this is actual torture or this is the worst thing I've ever witnessed. Dude, you have the best team of all time. No, I wouldn't say it was the best team of all time, but this is the best team in the league by far. You have the best player in the history of the MLB. You have probably the greatest or top 3 starting rotations of all time. You have pretty insane depth around the entire field, and you have one of the best farm systems in baseball. You're going to sit here and lose like 10 out of your last 15 or 20 and say that this is horrible. Like, dude, look at the Marlins who don't spin anything and they suck every single year. Look at the Pirates who anytime they have a good player, they instantly lose them because of free agency. Look at, I'm trying to think of another team. The Athletics fans consistently trade away all their best players for prospects that never end up really panning out. It could be way worse, bro. It's literally like a millionaire being like, dang, I don't have enough money, like my day's ruined, I dropped my coffee on the ground. And then there's like homeless people sitting on the street begging for money and food who have it way worse. Like that's how this argument is. And that's how Dodgers fans look when they say that. I'm just going to be honest.
They'd be in a wild card series. The Red Sox came into the week the hottest team in baseball, best record in baseball since July. Just 2.5 games back of taking the Yankees spot for second place. They play the White Sox, they smoke them. So first game of the week, 14-2. In game 2, they shit on them again. 4-0, shut them out. In game 3, they go into the 9th, down 1.
This is a great game, by the way. One of the very few non-Cubs games that I've actually watched this year.
Get a runner on third. There's 2 outs. Red Sox are down to their last strike. Wilyer Abreu forces extra. Chase Mydroff hits a bomb off of Aroldis Chapman. White Sox up 2. Red Sox come back in the 10th.
Poland swinging a drive out to center field. The Red Sox have tied it 9-9.
Tie it again.
Show me some Sammy Antonacci.
Come back in the 11th.
He
tie
did
it again. Then in the 12th. Guess who it is? Chase Mydroff hits in another White Sox run, and the Red Sox lose the lead again. And in the bottom of the 12th, the Red Sox tie the game again.
No Sammy Antonacci highlights.
13th, Caleb Durbin.
Up the middle, base hit. Here he comes. Sogard rounding to throw home, and the Sox win again.
Drives from the center. The Red Sox win. So it's the longest game of the season. 4 hours and 23 minutes. Longest game since 2023. Red Sox
honestly,
did not have a lead.
The Red Sox being good in the second half, and then getting Adley as well. Honestly, bro, this could be hopefully. I don't know how the playoff is actually going to work out. This could be a Yankees Red Sox postseason or ALCS, which would be an awesome watch.
For a single pitch this entire game. They came back from 6 different deficits
in
one game. Sweep the White Sox, win their 8th game in a row. That is the second time in a month they've gone in an 8-game winning streak. End up getting a 9-game winning streak the next day. They are 27-5 since July 3rd. Best record in baseball going
27-5.
Most runs scored in baseball since July, and second least runs allowed in baseball since July. So on June 22nd,
I actually think that Aroldis Chapman might be the only player to rival Acuna's aura. I don't think there's a single player in the league with more aura than Aroldis Chapman, honestly.
They had the worst record in the American League. Since then, they are 22-9. And in a month and a half, they went from having the worst record in the American League to now having the best run differential in the American League. They have the 3rd best record in the league right now. And they have won 9 straight series until this weekend. They blow that 9 straight series winning streak on the worst team in baseball, the Athletics, unfortunately. Best run differential in the American League.
And that is all for this week's episode, guys. If we missed your favorite...
Another good video. I like that this one was a little bit shorter. But if you like this video or agreed with any of my stuff that I said, make sure you like the video. Make sure you say what you agreed with in the comment section. And make sure you subscribe, bro. Right here. If you like the video as well, click another one. There's probably another one like it that you like even more.